Albert Einstein is an extraordinary scientist, known for his peculiar personality, the unusual behaviors he exhibited in his childhood, and his tendency to keep his distance from most people. At the same time, he is one of the most important theoretical physicists in the world. Today, we will talk about Albert Einstein's unusual life, his family, his childhood, and the works that brought him to where he is today. Before we start our video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like our videos, and share your thoughts in the comments. Now, it's time to get to know Albert a little better. Albert Einstein was born on March 14, 1879, in the town of Ulm, Germany. Einstein's mother, Pauline, had a great passion for music and was also a highly talented pianist. She loved playing Beethoven's piano pieces, and Albert Einstein enjoyed listening to her play. Albert's father owned a small electrochemical factory, but unfortunately, he was not a very successful businessman or manager. His family came from a Jewish background, but neither his mother nor his father was ever dogmatic or blindly religious. On the contrary, they were open to progress, constantly improving themselves and enriching their cultural knowledge. In terms of family, Albert Einstein was actually a very lucky child because his family loved him, and he was born into what could be considered a relatively elite family. However, he was also a source of concern for his parents, as he never played with other children, preferred to keep to himself, and isolated himself from others. Even by the age of 5, he was still struggling to speak properly. The most significant events that directed Albert Einstein towards science, physics, and mathematics occurred when he was 5 and 12 years old. When Einstein was 5, his uncle gave him a magnetic compass as a birthday gift. This gift fascinated him and captured his interest. At the age of 12, he was introduced to Euclidean geometry, which also deeply intrigued him. From the moment Einstein started elementary school, he quickly became frustrated and uncomfortable with the school's strict discipline. Contrary to popular belief, he did not get along well with school. However, thanks to his uncle's help, he always scored high on exams and consistently became the top student in his class. Since his mother was highly interested in music, she wanted her children to learn an instrument and be involved in music as well. For this reason, when Einstein and his sister were 6 years old, she took them to separate music lessons. Albert took violin lessons, while his sister Maha learned to play the piano. Albert admired Mozart's music and listened to it frequently. He would practice 4 hours, sometimes 4 days, just to be able to play Mozart's pieces. Einstein was exceptionally successful in Latin and mathematics, but when he moved on to high school, school became even more unbearable for him. This was because high school rules and discipline were much stricter compared to elementary school. Since he had already struggled with elementary school discipline, facing an even more rigid system in high school made things even harder for him. Additionally, Einstein never got along with his teachers in high school. The teachers tried to establish authority over the students, but Albert Einstein always opposed them. He also found it extremely frustrating that instead of actually teaching, his teachers focused on making students memorize things. Because of this, he constantly challenged his teachers and argued with them. Einstein's family had unique traditions. One of these traditions was inviting a poor student to their home every week to have dinner together and engage in conversation. A university student named Max Talmud would visit Einstein's home once a week for dinner. Max Talmud and Einstein got along very well. Max treated Einstein as if he were a classmate, and they would discuss mathematics, physics, and philosophy together. Talmud frequently brought books for Einstein, and young Albert examined them with great curiosity. One of the books that fascinated him the most was Euclid's Elements. At a young age, Albert Einstein had already solved all the problems in this book and, beyond that, even found alternative proofs for some of the theorems. In short, Einstein had already begun his journey as a scientist and was developing his own proofs from an early age. Einstein's uncle knew that Albert had a great interest in mathematics and was highly successful in it. So, he brought him an algebra book one summer, and Albert was able to solve even the most difficult problems in it with ease. Additionally, Albert taught himself integral calculus and analytic geometry. Later, in 1895, he took the university entrance exam in Zurich. Normally, the minimum age to take the exam was 18, but Einstein was granted a special exemption, allowing him to take it at the age of 16. He achieved remarkable success in mathematics and physics, but unfortunately, he failed in other subjects and did not pass the exam. He was advised to attend high school and retake the exam after graduation, so he enrolled in a high school in the Aarau region. Einstein considered his time at this high school to be one of the best periods of his youth. This was because the school had a very open-minded teacher whom he deeply respected, Joost Winteler. This teacher encouraged independent thinking among his students and provided the kind of education Einstein had always longed for. After completing his studies there, Einstein was admitted to the Polytechnic University, the same institution he had previously attempted to enter. He graduated within 4 years. His main goal after graduation was to work as an assistant at the university, allowing him to conduct research freely. However, just like in elementary and high school, Einstein struggled to get along with his professors at the university. He often acted as if he knew more than them, skipped many of his classes, and clashed with them frequently. As a result, none of the professors wanted to hire him as an assistant. Eventually, thanks to an old school friend, Einstein found an ordinary job at the Bern Patent Office. But from the very first day, he feared that this job might take him away from science. In 1905, 3 of Albert Einstein's works were published in the journal Annalen der Physik, and these were groundbreaking, well-supported studies that caused quite a stir in the scientific community. Thanks to these works, his life suddenly took the turn he had always desired. In 1909, he resigned from the ordinary job his friend had arranged for him and became an associate professor of theoretical physics at the University of Zurich. Later, in 1911, he received a professorship from the Karl Ferdinand University in Prague, and 3 years later, in 1914, he returned to Germany. After returning, he became the director of the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute for Physics and a professor at the Humboldt University of Berlin. He also served as the president of the German Physical Society for 2 years. Einstein then developed the theory of general relativity, which demonstrated that the light from a distant star could be bent by the sun's gravitational field. This theory was confirmed in 1919 during a solar eclipse, and as a result, Einstein gained worldwide recognition, appearing in major newspapers and scientific journals. Following these events, he was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1921. In the 1930s, as the German government began burning and discarding the works of many scientists in the years leading up to World War II, Einstein was also affected by this situation. Consequently, he decided never to return to Germany. He spent the rest of his life in the United States. During World War II, Einstein advised the US government to develop a bomb, which ultimately led to what is perhaps the most devastating event in the history of warfare. Years later, he expressed regret to a friend, saying, "My only mistake in life was giving the government advice to build a bomb during the war." Einstein continued to dedicate himself to science for many years, but on April 18, 1955, he suffered a severe internal hemorrhage and was taken to the hospital, where he suddenly passed away at the age of 76. And that was the life story of Albert Einstein, a role model for many scientists. Do you think there are scientists today making discoveries as groundbreaking as Einstein's, capable of shaping the future of science? Don't forget to leave a comment to share your thoughts, like our video to help it reach more people, and subscribe to our channel to support its growth. Until we see you in our next video, take care and goodbye.